I just want to remind you how things work at Manchester United these days with regards to the hierarchy, because we'll be hearing from Ruben Amorim in a moment, and he refers to it. Jim Ratcliffe is the man. He is the co-owner. You've got Barada, who's coming as CEO. Jason Wilcox is your technical director. And in case you don't know, Ruben Amorim is your manager, and he spoke to Rob Dawson in Chicago.
Ruben, we speak to a lot of the players. They've said it's been a very positive tour. They've talked a lot about the change of culture that they feel is happening here. When you arrived at United, what was the culture like, and what have you done to try and change it?
First of all, I think is one thing that is all about the club. It's not one person that arrives and say we need to change everything. Everything was Omar and Jason. They were aligned about everything we need to change. Of course, the manager is important piece, because if the manager doesn't want, it's really hard. But I feel that we are more organized nowadays. I think everybody knows their places. You know that this is my job. Everyone knows that, and that is looks like a small thing, but this is a big thing. I think we improved in the even the medical department, the nutrition. We are so much better. What we eat, the way we behave on tour, on the pitch, the rules. I think everything is important, because I know that they are not kids, and I don't treat the players like kids. But I think these small rules can help a group to be stronger.
You just said there that you feel like it's been made to feel like it's your job. Do you feel like you've been given the authority to make all those changes you've just made, and that it's your way?
I think all the I don't know, but I think all the managers that come here can change things and can dictate some things around the team. I think that is clear, but the manager cannot do that by yourself, because I cannot change. I cannot contract people. I cannot. There are some things that I don't know, so I need to have top people around me to help me to change the culture. So I think it's not the question of if I have the authority. It's my job. They want that. But it's bigger than that. I need all the club in the same direction.
I don't want to dwell too much on last season, but because it was so tough, was there ever a point last season where you thought, oh, I don't know if I can change this?
No, it's not that feeling, but there was most a feeling that I'm disappointing all these people. That was the feeling that made me think what I should do. There was some moments in last year was really hard on me. No, not because I know what to do to change the club, but I'm disappointing these people, and I know that in football, when you lose so many games, it's hard on everybody to believe in one idea. And all the changes. There was some moments in the last year that I was really frustrated.
It maybe feels like a long way off, but do you feel like that there are things at this club, if everything was to go right, that this club could still be Premier League, Champions League winners? Do you feel like everything is here for that to happen in the future?
I have no doubts, because there are some things that you cannot buy, and this club have the pedigree, the history, the fans. We have that, so I think that is clear. Then the money. We have money. We have money without the Champions League. So we'll have money and more money in the future. And we are doing everything. And you talk with Omar, and all these guys are making all the strategy to have more money in the future. So that will not be a problem. And then I think it's clearly the culture. If you have a different culture with all that, with all the pedigree, the money, all these things, we can return to our place, and that is clear.
Luis Garcia joins us. We'll be hearing from Luis in a moment. Craig, if I'm a Man United fan, he's saying exactly what I want to hear, isn't he?
Well, in some sense, yes. In another sense, no. Talking about it's probably not about new players. It's about these players being better. No, it's about, these players, most of them need to be better, but their better is not good enough to be back in amongst the Champions League and the Premier League. Rob Dawson's talking about Premier League and Champions League. That's not even a thought at the moment. It's not. So there's so much work to do there, and he's, everybody's brighter and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in pre-season, aren't they? Everybody.
Well.
Everybody.
I don't know.
Just look at me. Everybody's positive, mainly, and getting results because the games are not quite as competitive. And listen, if it's not about new players, why have they signed Mbemo and Cunha? And there's probably more going to have to come in. So it is about new players, but it's also about attitude, which I think a lot of their players were very poor in that department, and hence some of them are on what we call the naughty step, whether we agree with that or not. But it's going to be an interesting watch where Man United are, how competitive they're going to be, and how much brighter they are, how much more competitive they are within 90 minutes of a Premier League game against not Liverpool and Arsenal and teams like that, because they're not at that level, not even close. But how are they going to be against the other, 14 or 15 in the Premier League that are average? We're going to find out this season.
I think Amorim is saying all the right things to your point.
Yeah, I thought so as well, Shaka. Shut up, Craig.
Yeah,
but did he not say we don't need new players?
But
well, what else are you going to say?
Point,
You can't
exactly.
I can't say, I need a whole new squad, this little rubbish.
Well, everybody knows that.
Well, but
No,
you can't
but he
say
can't
it.
say
Why
that.
can't you say it?
No,
Why can't you say it? He's already
you
told
can't go, oh, no,
Listen.
look at all this. Have you seen them? They're
All right,
awful.
well, that's the same guy when he went to Fulham, came out and said, I'd rather play the bus driver than Marcus Rashford. He's not scared about upsetting players. Everybody knows they need players.
Everybody outside of that dressing room, well, everybody knows it, but everybody outside the dressing room has the freedom to say it. I don't think Ruben Amorim has any choice but to believe in this squad of players, or at least say that he believes in this squad of players. And yes, he's made
There's not a man alive believes in this squad of players.
But
if you've watched them play.
as the Manchester United
Not even
manager,
him.
he has to say, he's like, listen,
Doesn't have to say it.
this squad is good enough. All it needed was a culture change, and we're establishing that. That is exactly what any manager in that position would do. Manchester United are also having a good preseason. It's preseason, I know. But when you finish 15th, you cannot afford to have a poor preseason.
Right.
Coming into the season.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Right. All I'm saying is, in terms of turning Manchester United around, terms of turning them around, they had to have a good preseason, and they're doing that. So they're taking steps in the right direction. Now, again,
some teams have a good pre-season and then they're crap.
It
really doesn't matter. I mean, how it goes.
I totally
but
understand
imagine they
that.
lost to Bournemouth, they lost to West Ham.
Exactly.
We'd all be sat here piling on. We're not saying they're going to win the league. What we're saying is...
Why would we pile on? It's pre-season. It's like the Club World Cup.
Come on. If West Ham beat them 5-0, you wouldn't be sat here with any sort of a different...
Of
course you would.
Never mind us. Never mind what we have to say. How does that dressing room feel, given they finished last season? Then you go and lose to Bournemouth and lose 5-0 to West Ham as per your example. I don't think that does the team any good at all. Now, everybody knows it's part of the business. Players are going to come and go. You're going to be linked with players. You're going to sell others. That's regardless of whether you finish 15th as Manchester United did or whether you finish top of the league like Liverpool did. And look how much they spent. That's a part of the game. I just think Amorim is doing the best that he can. Now, again, all that being said, for as much praise as I'm putting on Amorim, I still don't think Manchester United are good enough to finish 8th at best. But in terms of what he's doing with what he's got, this has been a very good preseason for him.
What do you mean what he's doing? What is he doing? You're saying you're praising Amorim. Praising him for what? He was abysmal last year. And these players that he's so-called protecting, they tried to bury him last year. I mean, he could easily have lost his job. Easily. United could have cut him loose.
In terms of this preseason, I don't think he can do anything more.
No,
he's saying what he has to say, doing what he can with what he's got.
I don't disagree. But these same players almost buried him last year, right? He's got a couple of new ones. And pre-season is pre-season. Yeah, if they lost to whoever, I don't even know who they've played. With no interest, right? Because it's pre-season. And yeah, if they'd lost, we'd have talked about it, or you guys would have talked about it, whoever was in talked about it, because there's not a lot else going on. But it doesn't change the narrative. It matters nothing whether you have a bad pre-season or a good pre-season. When the bell goes at the start of the season, that's where it matters. And that's where Ruben Amorim is going to find out if some of these players that were slack-ass last year, if we're being honest, and I'm being nice, and played poorly, and almost buried them, we'll find out whether the 2 or 3 new ones can change the attitude. We'll find out.
Manchester United, of course, nowhere near the title odds, when we take a look at who are the favourites, no surprise it is the defending champions who sit top of that list at 7-4, considering what they've done not only last season but in the summer transfer window.
How have they get in there above Newcastle
Because they're Manchester United.
and Aston Villa?
Because they're Manchester United. It's just the name. Why is Real Madrid favourites? Because
Well, you tell me. You use the word.
I just told you.
No, but it's not
I
a
just
name.
told you.
It's not a name.
Manchester United are a name.
No, but that's not why they're top of a bookies list. You worked in the bookies.
Well, yes, I know, but the Real Madrid are favourites because they're Real Madrid.
But you told me it's because people are putting money on them.
Well, because the bookies, I assume they're going to put money on them. Exactly.
So the bookies assume.
Yes,
That's how it
exactly.
works.
Exactly.
So more clueless people.
Well, yes, that's why the bookies are so rich. Have you met a poor bookie? Right, Luis.
Well, yeah, I have. Yeah, I've met a few. I bet there's a lot of bookies go under. Yeah? Particularly ones that think Man United are better than the other teams I mentioned.
Luis. Liverpool are favourites to win the title.
I agree with that.
Yes, indeed. Well, good. I'm glad you agree with something. Is there any concern that all these new faces could rock the boat?
I think that it's very difficult to try to think that this Liverpool side is not going to play the same way that they play. They're going to show the same intensity that they showed last year, and they're going to be the team to beat. I think that the team is just receiving players who can add something extra. I think that with the signing of Florian Wirtz, I think that he brought something different to the club. I think even when talking around to the people, to the fans, he's a player who cannot bring you those moments of quality and technique that Firmino brought back in the days. Players who can bring something different on the game, and the speed and quality of the players on the other side, the intensity and hard work from the players in the middle. But in the end, what you want is someone who can give you an extra. The people say that I pay a ticket to see players make something different. I think that with Florian arriving to Liverpool give you that extra. Not only that you go to see your team win, but also to see a nice football happening on the field. So I think this is one of those special players who is going to give something different to the team, and I'm looking forward to see if he can manage. Because again, and I agree with Craig about the pre-season. Pre-season is to get ready, to put your engine in the right condition for a very long season. But the Premier League is something different, and I know that he has done a great job in the Bundesliga, but he needs to adapt to the intensity, to the friction, to the battle of Premier League, and I'm looking forward to see if he can handle those moments.
There's only one. There's only one
God,
man.
here we
There's
go,
only
here
one
he
man.
comes.
Listen, Andy Slot. Whatever happens with Liverpool this year, if they don't win the league, disappointing. That's it. Disappointing.
Right.
The guy who's second favourite, he's.
We're not talking about Arsenal.
No, but I'm just saying. You're asking me about Liverpool. I'm just telling you.
I didn't ask you about anything.
The only man under the man under the most pressure, not Ruben Amorim, Mikel Arteta. Trust me. All the pressure on him. Don't worry, son. You'll not be here for very long. You'll be.
That's it.
You don't have to put up with me for that much longer.
Luis, Stevie's not doing cartwheels. If he was, it'd be quite impressive. About the potential signing of Isak, saying that maybe that money could be better spent elsewhere to solidify that defence. Where do you stand on that?
Well, actually, I could agree a little bit. I think that right now, by seeing what you got in front of you, just signing Bird that he could play that different role at the front. Etiqueta is another player who can also play in that position. It's true that it's a long season, that you're going to need goals, and you're going to need players who can make something different up front. But I think that right now the team looks very, very balanced. Maybe a little bit the imbalance at the back, the line of four. I could see that bringing another centre back could help to rest players that for a long season can be in danger of risking an injury, and then you're going to be in trouble. But that's the philosophy of the club at the moment. You can see them that they are focused on strength the front line, even the center of the midfield, and it looks like it could be a player to join. I'm not sure if the price tag. We've been talking about Isak, if you remember, guys, since the moment he was at Real Sociedad, and the development of this player has been incredible, and now the price tag is really, really high. So I don't know if that price tag is gonna give you the extra that Isak brings into the team, because in the end, let's not forget, is surrounded by so much talent that is going to make also difference. So it's not that you are a team that you need a center forward that need to score 20, 35 goals. You already have a player like this in your right side, and you got to run a lot of players who can add double figures in your scoreline. So I think that is, of course, a fantastic player, and of course, it will give you something extra. But I'm not sure spending that money on a striker right now is the right fit for Liverpool.